Chheda here. So we are taking our first live class in the app. I welcome you all to Concept Classes app and 21 days concept revision challenge we are starting. Now this is something new. You must have heard about the revision classes. What we are doing in this challenge. It's a challenge that every alternate day we will take up one topic. I will revise all the gist. The problems are solved. I'll tell you the presentation, what is the trend, what you have to practice. And then wherever you have taken the coaching, pick up the material, do that chapter. Any queries you have, you can WhatsApp me or send me in our Telegram group and we will clear it for you. Right? Okay. So without wasting time, let us start. And the chat box is on. So if you have any doubt, you can just keep putting in the chat box while the lecture is going on. Okay. Though the first chapter in your syllabus for the advanced accounting is partnership. But then to give you all comfort, how to take most benefit of this 21 days revision challenge, today I have picked up the topic is, I'll just share my screen, and it is liquidation. Okay. Liquidation we are doing now. Yes, I hope the screen and everything is clear, right? Liquidation, the weightage is at least 10 marks. Just November 2020 exam is over, and if you've seen the paper, frankly, accounting standards are there for 20 to 25 marks that we'll do in a separate revision. Today, the target is to have a complete grip on the concept of the liquidation, and once this is done, then practice all the problems, and any doubts we can cover it up in the next class, right? Okay. So let us start. How all first, let me give the concept and I'll give you a trend also, how they are asking the questions. Okay. So when it comes to liquidation of the companies, this is the procedure companies follow after winding up of the company. So at winding up, what happens, and some companies act rules and laws you will study in law, corporate law. Right now, the accounting part of it, three main accountings are done in liquidation of companies. Okay. First one, which is asked many times in exam, a 10 marks question is, once the company goes into liquidation, the balance sheet will be given to the liquidator. Liquidator is a official person who is appointed for the work of liquidation. He will sell all the assets, realize the money, and pay off to all the payees in some sequence which is decided in the Companies Act, right? So first thing liquidator will do after he is appointed is he will prepare a statement of affairs. Now, what is statement of affairs? Statement of affairs is a vertical balance sheet only. Once the company goes into liquidation, the balance sheet is closed. Now, through statement of affairs, the liquidator will prepare balance sheet, vertical balance sheet, wherein all the assets and liabilities are taken at the agreed value or market value. See, I am the liquidator. If you give me, ma'am, this is the balance sheet, you realize all assets and pay all liabilities. Now in balance sheet, plant and machinery is 1 lakh. I may realize 150. So in statement of affairs, I will take all the assets at market value. Creditors may be 30,000, but there may be some contingent liability 20,000 which may materialize. So I will take that also now. I hope you are getting. So statement of affairs is a 10-mark question in exam, wherein some format is there, and in the format you have to write vertically where from the money is going to come and how you are going to pay it. Even if there is a surplus, that belongs to the next in the sequence, and if there is a deficiency, then it goes negative. Then shareholders are the last owners of the company. They will bear the surplus or the deficiency. So this is one thing which comes from this chapter. Second thing is, because the books of accounts are winded up, there is no There is no creditors. You can say when the books of accounts are winded up, there is no balance sheet and all. And the liquidation work goes on for months. So can the liquidator say, prepare a final statement of accounts? Superb. This is asked for 10 marks. Liquidator will prepare final statement of accounts just in the form of the cash account, where from the money has come, receipts and payments. Now, receipts and payment not haphazard as and how it comes. This is his final statement, which he's showing to everyone that this is how I've realized the money. This is how I'm going to pay it. So there's a format which you have to follow for liquidator's final statement. And this is a superbly important question asked for 10 marks. In this, calculation of liquidator's commission is very important, and sometimes for 5 marks only question asked is calculate the commission which is payable to the liquidator, right? Third type of question asked in this chapter is B list contributories. Okay, B list contributories excuse me, are the people who have to pay the money when the present shareholders are unable to pay. So how they will pay is a statement that is many times asked for 5 to 10 marks. This is an overall gist of what you have to learn in this chapter. Okay, it's a very scoring chapter. Let us first go and see how we are going to make payment to liquidator. Some questions are also solved if you can see the screen. Because this is a revision class, the importance is to give you all the concept. The questions are ready solved and you can just look at the screen, pay attention. Any doubts are there, we have the WhatsApp group. Yes, I'm seeing the chat box also. Any doubt you have, you can put it in the chat box, no problem. Okay, right. So liquidator's final statement of account, let us see how it looks. Okay, yeah, let us see how it looks. Liquidator's final statement of accounts. On the receipt side, always we will start with opening balance of cash, which is given as per the balance sheet. Okay, just 1 minute. If students are joining late, this is getting disturbed. 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. Yeah. So liquidators final statement of account we are doing, and in this the receipt side you will see the cash. Okay, that's opening balance. After that, realize all the assets which are secured and pay off the secured liability. Do you understand what are secured assets and liabilities? Suppose you have taken a secured loan from bank, 10 rupees. I'm explaining the concepts of 10 rupees and 1 rupee. And you have secured assets 12. So whenever that time comes to pay off the secured loan 10, you have to sell that secured asset, say land for 12, pay off that loan 10, and 2 rupees is the surplus which will come outside. Now the question in your mind will be, is there a chance of deficit? Yes. Suppose the secured assets realizes 9 and you have to pay 10, then 1 rupee will go in unsecured creditors. Is this clear to all of you? Any doubt, you can pause me in between and clear your doubts. So realization of all the assets is clear to you. Take the surplus outside. Okay. Now, apart from that, can we realize other freehold assets which we have not pledged, like furniture, vehicle, anything? Take the realizable value here. Sometimes we may call the money from the shareholders. Unpaid, all call on contributories here. So this side is all the receipts which is over. Now let us go to the payment side. Payment side, because the company has gone into liquidation, the first thing liquidator will take is his expenses. Liquidator will expense some paperwork, traveling, printing, stationery, ROC fees. That expenses will be given in the exam. He will take it payment. Liquidators remuneration. How to calculate that? I will tell you in a separate table. And then we have list D, that is debenture holders. Debenture holders, suppose the company has gone winding up in 31st of March and liquidator prepared his statement in June, then he has to pay April, May, June interest. The punchline is debenture holders are paid interest till the date of repayment. Done? Then we have preferential creditors. What are preferential creditors? I'll explain you separately. After that, unsecured creditors. If the surplus from secured asset is less to pay the secured liability, that will also come here in the unsecured creditors. Then next in the list we have preference shareholders, including cumulative dividend. Sometimes in the exam they will say preference shareholders are waiving off their dividend. Fine, no problem. Last we have equity shareholders. Whatever is left you pay to equity shareholders. They may get less, they may get more. Ultimately they should bear all this. Okay, so this is how the receipts, the payments and the liquidator statement will look. Interest on debentures you have to pay, I told you. Arrears of preference dividend, if they are paying you take it. If they are waiving, okay, preference shareholders interest is waived, don't take it. Now, so many times they are asking you how to calculate liquidators remuneration. So all these points are superbly important along with the examples. So let us see the first one. Liquidator is getting collections on the receipts. Now, whenever they say liquidator is getting collection on the receipts, it will be on all the receipts excluding opening cash and bank. Obviously, logically, no commission will be payable on the opening cash and bank. Other all the collections liquidator is paid, say 2% commission. So you do the total of the collection, say 10 lakhs, 2%, 2000, you pay it. Commission sometimes is paid only on assets realized. Now, whenever they say commission is paid on assets realized, you have to take both the assets. Assets specifically pledged which are realized, assets which are freehold. For example, you have realized secured assets 1 lakh. Against that, you have paid loan 80,000. So in your hand, secured assets came only 20,000. Other assets realized is 50,000. Right? Okay. So now commission 2% is paid on 1,50,000. Take a pause. I'm going very slow, though this is a revision class. Because you means the liquidator, has taken efforts on assets realized 1 lakh also and 50,000. So commission will be paid on 150, though out of 1 lakh you paid the secured loan 80 and in your hand you got 20. Is this clear? How to calculate the commission? Right. Then otherwise in exam many times it is given pay the commission on the payment. So whatever payment you make to the debenture holders, to creditors, on that commission he will take. Commission paid to unsecured creditors include preferential creditors also. Preferential creditors are routine creditors, but they are paid first. Who are they? What are they? I will discuss with you now. Okay. Now, distribution includes distribution to creditors and contributories. Okay. Commission may be, sometimes in exam it's just given pay 1% commission on all the distribution. So distribution means debenture holders, preferential creditors, unsecured, preference equity, sub pay you have to pay. So see the language and easily you'll be able to calculate the commission. Now, before making the payment to contributories, if there is any call in arrear, it should be collected, and if there is call in advance, it should be returned. Yeah, this is, I have written it in bold. So this is very important. What happens is A time comes after paying everyone that now you have money left only to pay to equity shareholders. Now there are suppose 1,000 equity shareholders. So they should all be at par, no? Out of 1,000, 10 have paid call in advance. 5 have not even paid last call. So you repay the call in advance. You call the call in arrears. The point is make all the equity shareholders at par and then you start with your liquidation. I mean, say payment to equity shareholders so that all the shareholders are at par. Now, this is one of the favorite topic for the paper setters, this seventh one. Sometimes they say pay the commission and then calculate payment of commission to creditors. I'll better explain it with an example. Okay, let us see now. Amount due to unsecured creditors is 60,000. You have only 50,000. Commission is 2%. Now you can say, ma'am, commission you are paying 50,000, but out of 50,000, if you take 2% commission, it will go wrong, because after taking your commission then only you will pay to the creditors. No, you got my point. So whatever you are paying to creditors, on that 2% is the commission. So can I use this table? See, I have made it here. Amount available before commission is 102, that is 50,000. Commission is 2 on the amount paid to creditors. I am repeating, amount paid to creditors is 100, commission is 2. So you are having 102, that is 50,000. So 102 में 2 is commission, 50,000 में कितना? 980. And then 49,020, if you calculate 2%, it will come correctly. So it is rate upon 100 plus rate, if you go by formula. Listen, when will you use this formula? When amount payable to creditors is less and you have to take your commission also. You can't calculate 2% on 60,000 because you're not paying 60. You can't calculate 2% on 50,000 because you're not paying 50. So you calculate 50 into 2 by 102. Clear to all of you? Right. So commission is a very important part and asked many times in the exam. Okay. Now let us see liquidators final statement, particulars, receipt and payment and amount. This is how you make. See, 50,000, this is just a problem. I don't have time to discuss all the problems, but presentation I want to teach you. 50,000 you have realized, 40 you pay, surplus you take outside. Other assets also you take outside. Now, on the payment side, liquidation expenses. I hope you remember on your tip. What is the sequence? Liquidation expense, liquidators remuneration. Then third one is debenture holders, list D. List C, preferential creditors, unsecured creditors, and equity preference shareholders. And then last is equity shareholders. Right? So this all the totals have come here. Now the googly is, will you pay 3% commission on assets realized on 10,000 and 50 to 62? No. 50,000 you have realized the asset and 52. 1,02,000 pay 3%, this commission is calculated. Clear? Preferential creditors also you are calculating the commission, and unsecured creditors, the working is here. Amount available is 57,222, whereas you have to pay 60,000 to unsecured creditors. So into 1.5 divide by 101.5, right? So this is how the liquidators final statement is prepared. You have to make a list. Now, along with liquidators final statement, how do you make payment to equity shareholders? There are some very nice technique. Let me explain you with this problem. I'm not reading the problem. You pay attention what figures I am discussing. It will be very clear to you. Okay, right. Let us say the first one, opening cash. Don't miss taking the opening cash in the liquidators final statement of account. Then land realized 240, secured loan for land paid, surplus taken outside. Assets not pledged means the freehold assets. You have paid 1,80,000. Next is stock. Stock is 70,000 data. So all this is like assets realized. Don't write the total now. Go on making the payment. In payment, liquidation expenses are given and 2% on all the assets realized. Now look how they have paid. 2,40,000 land realized, 180, 70,000 and 60,000. On that 2% is 11,000. Now liquidators remuneration is there on the creditors. Okay. But let us see how we are going to do that. One minute, 1 minute. Yeah. So now we have realized we have the opening cash. We have realized all the assets. Okay. Now, though we have realized secured assets and out of that secured loan we have paid, still we are paying liquidators remuneration on all the assets. Is this clear to all of you? Right? Any doubt, keep on putting in the chat box. Liquidators expense, keep your videos and volume off, please, all of you. If you have a doubt, you can put it in the chat box. The chat box is on and you can clear your doubt. Now, liquidators remuneration we have paid. I hope the sequence is clear. Expense remuneration. Okay. On creditors, we'll do later. Debenture holders, we are paying 1 lakh along with 6 months interest. Okay. Then we have preferential creditors. Now, preferential creditors, I'll show you the list, but they are basically government payment and employee related payment. Okay. So here income tax is there, that is taken. I'll say separately also how to calculate the preferential creditors. Then we have unsecured creditors. So on preferential creditors, 10,000, 3%. Now you can say, ma'am, payment is down and commission is up. So in exam, leave the space for commission. Leave the space for commission on assets realized on creditors. And when you pay creditors, calculate the commission and write. When you make payment, 90,000, calculate the commission and write. And keep on checking that your amount is sufficient to pay in sequence. Expenses, remuneration, debenture holders with interest, preferential creditors, unsecured creditors, preference shareholders, last is equity shareholders. Now here, preference shareholders were 1 lakh. Done. Dividend on preference shares, if it is in arrears and if they have waived means foregone, don't consider it. If they say give, then give it. Now here they have asked you to give 6% for 3 years. So we paid 1,80,000. Now amount left is 1,37,000. This is usually a 10 marks question. If you do this much, you will get 5 marks. Now, what is this working note which I have done down? Okay, this is a revision class, so we are not solving problems. I'm going very slow in the concept. We have already covered liquidators final statement. Now you check these workings and these solved questions. Okay, right. Now see, we have 1,37,000 and look at the question once, please. 1,37,000 हमारे पास है and we have to pay 2,000 equity shareholders 2 lakh and 3,000 equity shareholders of 100 each, 50 paid 1,50,000. Is it clear? So 3,50,000 you have to pay. Now see, you can't simply say, ma'am, 5,000 shareholders ko equal paise de do. I hope you are getting. Can you say, ma'am, 137 divided by 5,000 and pay? No, because 5,000 shareholders have not paid same amount. Can I call from 3,000 shareholders 50 more? Look at the problem. 3,000 shareholders have paid 50. If I call 50, they will all become equal. Then I can repay them equal. Nice or not? So let me call, look at the working. I already have 1,37,000. I made a notional call 3,000 into 50, 1,50,000. Total amount available is 2,87,000. Now, can I give 2,87,000 equal to all the 5,000 shareholders? Yes. Then each shareholder is getting 57.4. You can say, ma'am, they have put 100 rupees in the company, but then company is in losses, deficiency. And deficiency is to be borne by the owners, shareholders equally. Done. So 57.4 I have to pay. So 2,000 shareholder, I will pay 57.4, 1,14,800. 3,000 shareholder, I have to pay 57.4. I have just made a notional call of 50. So how much is the net I will pay? 7.4. Got it? So 1,37,000 I am paying. In case if call comes, you have to write on the receipt side. This is one way of doing. Second way of doing is 137 you have. And amount payable is 1,50,000 and 2,00,000, 350. Now there's a deficiency of 230. Irrespective of the amount paid by shareholders, 50 or 100, all the shareholders should bear the deficiency, no? 42.5. So 2,000 shareholders have paid 100. I'm saying sorry, 2,000 shareholders, 42.6 is the deficiency. We will give you 57.4. 3,000 shareholders, you have paid 50, but still 42.6 you have to bear the deficiency. 7.4 we will pay. Final answer comes same, this and this and this. Clear or not? मुझे मालूम था आप यही पूछोगे मैम should we do both in exam? No, you go by this way, but this is, students have alternatives in their mind, so conceptually both are correct, but I think this is best. You make a notional call, make all the shareholders at par. This problem is not having, but if you have call in arrears, if you have call in advance, then call in advance वापस दे दो. Call in arrears, you call. Now what is the amount available is equal for all the shareholders. This is like superb. I don't believe in doing too many problems, but some problems which are really good concept wise, and then your study material problems. Last 20 years, if I'm teaching, I can't say mere book kar lo, mere booster notes pad lo, more than enough. No. Okay. So make sure that you do my material also. You do the ICI study material problems as it is. They are picked up and asked as it is. In advanced accounting, this November 20 question number 1 from the which one it was? Construction था कौन सा था? Study material से same उठा के दिए थे. It was a solved example in the study material. Okay, right? And whether you're writing the exam now in January or in May, your strategy should be start preparing group 2 thoroughly before your result is out. Once your result is out, either you will join your articleship. If not, you have to do then group 1, group 2 both together. So you should start preparing, and these revision videos will be very helpful to you, okay, to give you a perfect push. चलो कुछ और प्रॉब्लम देखते हैं. This sixth one is already a past exam question. I have picked up from the final exam only. Sometimes they give you a brief question. Now you can say, ma'am, where is the balance sheet? What are the assets realized? They have realized the assets they have paid to all the outsiders, and only for the shareholders 4,13,000 is available. You have preference shareholders, you have equity shareholders. Are you all reading the problem with me? 3,000 of 100 each, 1,000 of 50 each, and 30 each paid. Okay. So now 4,13,000 में they had call in arrears. Realize कर लो. Call in advance, pay off. This is an important punchline. Ma'am बोला तो नहीं था exam में. If you don't do this, all your shareholders will not come at par. After this, preference dividend was in arrears. So that you pay for 1 year. 3 lakh preference shareholders at 11%, and preference shareholders ko bhi pay kar do. Now, actually, for equity shareholders, you are left with 85,000. Now, listen, 85,000 divided by 4,000 mat karo. No, you cannot do it. If you do 85,000 by 4,000, then the answer will not come correct because the shareholders have not paid equal. So, how do we do that? Can we call money from the shareholders? Yes. How do we call that? Let us see. Okay. Look at this now. 1,000 equity shareholders are 50 fully paid, but 30 only you have called. Can you call 20 more? Yes. 1,000 shares, 20 more. That makes it 20,000. Amount available is 1,05,000. Okay. Now 1,05,000 amount available also, you can't divide by 4,000 shareholders because these are 100 paid, these are 50 paid. Can you convert them into equivalent number of shares? Equivalent number of shares? Yes. 3,000 shares are 100 each. 1,000 shares are 50. Can I make it 500 equivalent shares of 100 each? Yes. Now 1,05,000. Can I divide by 3,500 shares? Can I call them equivalent number of shares? Yes. So 30 per share I have to pay for 100, and for 50 I have to pay 15. Clear or not? I have converted all in 100. You can convert everything in 50 also. Once again, I am repeating. After a notional call, you had 1,05,000, but 3,000 shareholders have paid 100. 1,000 shareholders have paid 50. You made it 500 shares of 100. So 3,500 all have paid 100. Repay them 30. And 50 share wale hai face value, pay them 50. Right? So 3,000 shareholders, you pay them 30, 90,000. And 1,000 shareholders, you're calling them 20. Notional call the you did, not 20. And you're saying we'll pay you back 15. Can you call just 5,000? So 85,000 payment is adjusted. Got it or not? This 85,000 payment. That's why I have written here, pay 90,000, call 5,000. Some students, they write balance ma'am, equity shareholders 85 aa raha hai, idhar likh diya. Presentation will go wrong, you'll not get marks in exam. These are, hand-picked problems. You will be able to do 10, 15 more similar problems with this conceptual base knowledge. Right? Okay? Now, next is option 2. 3,000 shares of 100 each. Can you make them 6,000 shares of 50? And 1,000 shares, so 7,000 divided by 7,000. You'll get 15 for 50 per share face value, 30 for 100. And so on the problem will go. Now listen, there was so much googly in equivalent number of shares, then they didn't give you commission. Right? So you have to learn this very thoroughly. Okay? So you may get liquidators final statement, a 10 marks question. Make sure assets realized against the pledge, only surplus you take outside, remaining freehold assets, and pay attention to the presentation. One out of the way question already asked in the past exam is this one. Okay. In this, you have to prepare two things. One person is called official receiver. Now, so many times we have seen that when companies are having debenture holders, they have debenture redemption reserve. They have debenture redemption reserve ke saath the debenture trust deed. So, who is the official receiver? Official receiver is a person who is saying, I will realize some part of the assets to pay off some secured debentures and liabilities, and remaining I will give to liquidator, and liquidator will do. So look at the screen. This is already a problem solved for all of you. Here, same liquidator liquidator's final statement is broken into two parts. Okay. And this all done in Word. Purposely, I'm not using digital pen because I feel the presentation looks neat in Word and in capital letters. I hope the screen is very clear to you. Okay. So now first we have appointed a liquidator. Okay, he didn't have any opening cash, otherwise opening cash he will take. Then he will realize part of the assets, it will be given in the exam. If you want, just read this question. This is the bad luck. Bad luck is having some very bad luck. Huh? That's why they have gone. Creditors include preferential creditors and all. The receiver collected 20,000 datas and stock and debenture holders were paid and receiver took his own expenses and handed over the money to the liquidator. Now remaining datas are realized by liquidator at 20%. Stock is sold at 20% discount means a market value, no? So the question is clear. I'm just giving you the presentation. I hope this is a new technique I'm working. If you feel, ma'am, please read the question paper once fully. Please put the message, whether you're watching this as a recorded video or as a live class. I will do that. It will take 5 minutes extra. Okay, right. Now, opening cash is not there. He realized only part of the data's part of the stock. First, he will take his own expense. Then he's paying debenture holders along with interest. He's paying preferential creditors. He's paying some bank loan. Bank loan, debenture interest. If you pay in June, then April, May, June, you have to pay the interest, whether said or not. And closing cash handed over to liquidator. Now comes liquidator. Liquidator is selling off the remaining assets. See, liquidator is selling off the remaining assets, stock, datas, and all, and he's paying his expense, his commission. Now, when liquidator is paid commission, only on his assets realized, not all the assets, only on the his assets which is realized 40, 60, 70, 78, and 5. These three assets put together is 83,000, right? And then he's paying to the unsecured creditors. Okay, now unsecured creditors, you can say, ma'am, what is this? Unsecured creditors were 88,800. In that, preferential were already paid, no, by the official receiver. The remaining he will pay, and then he will pay to preference shareholders. If amount is not sufficient to preference shareholders, he will call money from the shareholders and make payment. So the gist I wanted to give, the purpose of taking this kind of problem, detailed, if I solve this only problem will take 2 hours, which is already there in the recorded videos, which are available in the app. But gist I want to give is, did you get liquidators final statement? 3 type of problems are asked. One is routine, money is coming, money is going, and finally you adjust. Another is pay off everyone, just adjust for the shareholders. And third is break the liquidator's final statement into 2 parts, receipt and payment, and liquidator's final statement. Done. Okay. So this is all about liquidator's final statement. Now, before I go to the next topic, I want to discuss little theory. How do we decide in exam, ma'am, who are liquidators' remuneration? If you are watching the video from in between, I have taken 3 different type of the examples. It's my guessing that now too much they are asking. 5 marks question, just calculate liquidators' remuneration in 2 3 ways, so you should be able to do that. Okay, right. Let us see what are the list names and all. 1 minute, I started from here. We have yet not done the statement of affairs. Yeah, liquidators payment may workman's compensation, that is all wages and salaries due to the worker, all commission payable under the Industrial Dispute Act, holiday remuneration, workman's compensation. In short, can I say employee related payment are all preferential creditors? And now, all revenue taxes rate says payable to government within 12 months. Last 12 months, GST, income tax, profession tax, what is payable to government, you have to pay first as preferential creditors. Salary and wages payable to employee not exceeding 4 months. Yes, So suppose 6 months salary 6,000 is due for Mr. X. 4 month will come in preferential creditors. 2 month will come in unsecured creditors. You can say, ma'am, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? फर्क पड़ता है. Preferential creditors are paid first. Unsecured creditors are paid later. I repeat, only 4 months salary is paid as preferential, right? And the amount should not exceed 20,000. Suppose salary due to Mr. Beans for March is 25,000 payable. How much will be preferential? 20,000. How much will be unsecured? 5,000. Got it? Already all these examples are solved for you. So these are preferential payments along with that government dues and all. You know, in one exam, they just asked you these list names. I'll just make it bold so that you all can check it very clearly. Yeah, check. List A. List A is assets which are not pledged. List B, assets which are pledged. List C, preferential creditors. List D, debenture holders along with interest. List E, unsecured creditors. Did you get now? Preferential creditors ऊपर चले गए. Unsecured creditors. List F, preference shareholders. List G, equity shareholders. And list H is deficiency. Right? Okay. Now, listen to one thing that you can say, ma'am, my company, in the exam, the problem given in the company, preference shareholders were not there. Can I make list F as equity shareholders? No. These list names are fixed. If you don't have preferential creditors, leave list C. But debenture holders will be list D. I hope this makes it clear how to see who are preference shareholders and all. Okay. Now, let us go to the next part, which is so many times asked. You know, I've divided it into three parts, this whole revision concept. First is liquidators final statement with the detailed calculation of remuneration and all. And then we did, we are doing now B list contributories. Okay. Any doubt until now? Anyone? Yeah. Can put it in the chat box. It is on. I'm seeing and I'll clear your doubt. Okay? Yeah. Commission you have to calculate separate for the liquid assets realized and for the remuneration also. Done. Chalo. We will go to the most scoring part and this comes for 5 marks for sure. And I'll tell you in exam, this November exam, आपके स्टडी मटेरियल में पीछे जो अनसॉल्व्ड क्वेश्चंस है ना from that similar question they have asked, right? And so many times they're asking 4 marks theory. Who are B list contributories? B list contributories कौन है? So B list contributories are, first of all, what do you mean by contributories? Shareholders. Then who are A list contributories? Existing shareholders. If existing shareholders are unable to pay the money, then money is called from the B list contributories. The shareholders who transferred partly paid shares. If shares are fully paid, what money you can call? Company is having a limited liability with shareholder. So B list contributories are shareholders who transferred partly paid shares, otherwise then by operation of law and all, and prior to the date of winding up shall be liable to contribute to the assets of the company, and they are called. Once again, B list contributories are contributories who have transferred their shares, partly paid shares, just before liquidation. Okay? Now, B list contributories are liable only if present member is unable to make payment or when existing assets available to liquidator are not sufficient to cover the liability. If you are not having money to pay outsiders, you will call the money from A list. If not, you will call the money from B list contributories, right? You've just transferred the shares and they are partly paid. So suppose if a share is 8 rupees paid, how much money you can call? 2 rupees. Ma'am, but I need 20. That doesn't matter. Only the unpaid amount you need to call. Now, liability for those creditors or debts that were existed on the date of transfer of the shares. Okay? So they will pay the liabilities that existed on the date they transferred the shares. Suppose if a shareholder transferred the shares for say 1920 in February 19 and in March company incurred some liability, why he should pay? He was not the shareholder in March. He was a shareholder till February. So till the date he was a shareholder, whatever is liability, for that he has to pay the money. And which money he has to pay? Partly paid money. I know you may be thinking, ma'am, kuch thoda bouncer ja raha hai. Please keep patience. I am reading the theory. Because if they ask you, write a short note on B-list contributories, you have to write this. And 4-mark short note, don't create a fourth point, write 3 points. This is like law. When you solve the problem now, it will be clear with me how we are doing. Okay? Right. I repeat, B-list contributories will pay only if present member are not paying. If they are liable for those creditors on debts that were existed on the date of the transfer of the shares, and they cannot be asked to pay more than the unpaid amount on the shares. Okay? Partly paid shares है ना, तो जितना unpaid है excuse me, 2 rupee per share unpaid है तो वही they will call off. Okay? Right. Now, let us take up one question so that it is clear to all of you how to solve this problem for 5 marks. Superb easy it is. Let me read out the whole question for you this time. Yes, all clear until now? Any doubt? And if all clear, just put the message all clear. Right. Liquidator of Loser Limited commenced on 2nd April. Certain creditors could not receive the payment out of realization and out of the contributions made from the A list. Now see, shareholders are not even having money to pay to the creditors. So now how do they do? Now, 2nd April, the company went into liquidation. A, number of shares transferred and all, and he ceased to be a member on 1st March 2015. So 1st March 2016, 1 year before liquidation only he transferred. So A is not a B list contributory. Is this step clear to all of you? A is not a B list contributory because he transferred the share before 2nd April 2015. Clear? Now, P transferred on 1st May. Is he a B list contributory? Yes. Q? Yes. R? Yes. S? Yes. These all have transferred the shares from April 15 to April 16. So they all are. And liability outstanding is also given. Okay, tell me one thing. How much you can call per share? 10 each paid? Sorry, 10 is the face value, 8 each paid. So you can call 2 per share. Show the amount to be realized from the various persons, ignoring expenses and remuneration to the liquidator and all. Nothing. So now exam mein, in study material, one thing is there is no consistency. Sometimes they prepare table like this, sometimes they prepare like this. You go in one format only, otherwise you'll be confused. So P, Q, R and S. Okay. Number of shares outstanding, I'm copying from here. I hope I have read word to word and the question is clear. 1500, 1000, 500 and 300. Now how much amount you can call? 2 per share. So just double it and write and keep so that you have an alarm. Ki 600, 1000, 2000, say more you cannot call for. All right. Okay. Now, let us see first now. On 1st May, P retired. P ceased to be a member. On that day, what was the liability? 3,300. P is saying, okay, I will pay for 3,300 because the day I retired, this was the liability. P is, loudly shouting and saying, after I retired, liability went up to 6,000. Remaining, I will not pay. Okay, chalo, 3,300 to pay karo. How will 3,300 be paid by all the B list contributories? In the ratio of their number of shares. 15 is to 10 is to 5 is to 3. And we got this money. Now don't do balance. We are not doing piecemeal. Just continue doing. Now, on 1st October, Q retired. On that, how much was 3,300 we have called from PQRS. So, the day Q retired, how much was the additional liability? 1,000. Right? Now, this 1,000, will P bring the money? No. Because P has already ceased to be a member on 1st May. Additional liability incurred after you have ceased to be, you are not responsible. So this 1,000 who will get? Q, R and S. In which ratio? In the number of shares? 10 is to 5 is to 3. There, and they will get it like this. One share rounding of difference you can do here and there. Now still we have balance on 111. 4,300 ka 4,600 ho gaya. So 300 rupees who will get? Now to P and Q both will not get, no, because they have retired in October. So in November 300 rupees only by R and S. And now finally on 1st February, the day S retired, 1,400 he should have brought the money. Only he alone. Because PQR have already said farewell, bye-bye. After November, additional liability incurred is 1,400. And only S has got the responsibility to bring. Then you can say 1,400. But listen, alert sign. You cannot ask to S get more than 600. 300 he already got, 167 he got, 112 he got. Now if you do these total, balance he can get is only 21. So can I say out of 1,400 only 21 is received by S. So 1379. 1379 is loss on realization, which no one has got. Absolutely no one has got this. Clear to all of you or not? And that is a loss. That's all for this problem. Don't miss out writing a note in exam that A has transferred his share 1 year before liquidation. Hence, he is not a B list contributory. P, Q, R and S are, but the day they have retired, whatever is liability, they will get it in the ratio. I hope now if I go back and read the theory, it is clear to all of you. Who is liable? B list contributories. How much? Till the amount unpaid. And the liability on the day they have retired. Right? So these kind of problems are super scoring. You do ICI study material problem and my problem more than enough. After that, refer the RTP, refer the past exam questions. Yes, these all are super clear. This one was asked. I already solved it in my October batch. And you can take a screenshot of this and check. This November 2020, the same question is asked in exam. If a member is retired and his son took over, he will become a B list contributory. And if someone has retired and he has already paid, fully paid, then he is not a B list. Though he retired in the last 12 months, you can't shout and say pay money because others have paid 8, but he has paid. So this is a super problem. I'm not explaining this full problem now, but this is already very well solved in your new syllabus study material, solved questions, piche, and old syllabus, unsolved questions are there in that. It's a superb question. Do it, practice all this. We have still to cover liquidators statement of affairs also, that we will take another class. This is more than an hour we are taking continuous class. I hope this class is very helpful for a conceptual revision of liquidators final statement, the commission, the B list contributories, the list name, the statement of affairs. Only thing I missed out is how to compute the statement of affairs and how to calculate deficiency. That will take another half an hour class. I will put a message in the app. Please check the messages and keep the notification off. I am putting only limited notifications that I am starting the class now, 7 to 8, and you have to join the Zoom link through that app so that you can attend live with me and you can take the benefit of these discussions also what we are doing in chat box. Okay, so wish you very all the best. So now अभी ये लाइव क्लास तो है नहीं, आदत हो गई हो बोलने की. गो होम and do. You all are already at your home. I am also at my home. Safe. Let us be at our homes only till our January and May exam is over. Until we are not meeting in the face-to-face classes, take the best benefit of this lecture. If you are watching as a recording, pause it, take notes. Today I didn't dictate any booster notes, but in the coming revision classes for amalgamation, for internal reconstruction, I'll give a lot of booster notes also. So take a notepad, a calculator, a notebook, and be ready for this revision classes. What topic I am taking, what timing I'm taking, I'll put you. And if you're watching this as a video, if this is really helpful, put your comments please below the video. That encourages us. This is all same. Actually, the coaching is over, batch is over, padte raho. But the coaching and the examination, there's a gap. I want to make a bridge there. Coaching is over for all my students. And the exam is there January end. So if 1 hour class, if you listen to the concept, this will give you a perfect boost. Now you do the liquidation problem anywhere you're stuck up. We all are together in the WhatsApp and Telegram group. And if you have not updated, update with the Facebook page also, with the YouTube, so that you get all the updates. Right? Wish you all the very best. Signing off now. CA Dipti Chheda here. Okay. Bye bye, all of you.